this morning with the sunrise in my eyes. My ride sweeter beneath the one I love. I don't know how, don't know why, but I've been toasting all my life. Oh, it's sweeter. I've been toasting all my life.
Welcome to Phillip Island, Victoria in Australia. What a setting we have for this great sporting contest, the Little Penguin Sea to Dune race. Nervous moments always as they gather on the beach, the tension mounting, and away they go. There's the defending champion, wearing his familiar navy blue and white, great waddling style. Another pre-race favourite though, losing touch with the pack. Maybe that's why. A few too many fish in the day's feeding. There's a familiar face, Skip McIntyre, 8 times a champion back in the 90s, a very successful coach now, keeping a keen eye on proceedings. This the leading group, 1 or 2 still able to put on a show for the camera, others just ploughing straight over it. Some resorting to shortcuts. Sad that cheating has crept into this beautiful sport. The judges will have a look at that. But up at the front, the pace is relentless, closing in on those sand dunes that will offer a bed for the night. The fatigue starting to tell. Who's got the finishing kick up on the outside? What a turn of pace from that one, whichever one it is. No answer from the rest, and he takes victory. What a win. There we are, into the Burrow, building an extension with his winnings, and back tomorrow to try and defend his title here on Phillip Island.
Hi everyone! Hi everyone, I'm Jordan.
And I'm Anna.
And welcome to Live Penguin TV. We're your hosts tonight.
Just kidding.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another night of Live Penguin TV. My name is Jordan, and this is my penguin alter ego here. And over here we've got
Anna with my penguin alter ego as well.
I hope you liked our fun little intro for the night. So this is Anna and myself's last night on Live Penguin TV tonight. So we thought we'd change it up a little bit and do something a little bit fun to open for the last night of Live Penguin TV just for now. So we've been running this live stream pretty much every single night since late August. And we are going to be running Live Penguin TV on occasion for special occasions, and while we've got special guests, we are just not going to be running it every single night from now on. But you've got the next 2 nights with Stephen, who will be able to answer all your wonderful questions. And then I'm not sure if we're allowed to say this or not, but there's some very, very special occasions coming up for Live Penguin TV. So make sure you keep an eye out on social media, and you'll be able to see us live in the flesh on Live Penguin TV, and of course out on the boardwalks. Now, if you're a regular water watcher, you know exactly the drill. You know what's going to happen. We're going to watch the smaller species of penguins waddle their way home across the beach, back home to Phillip Island in Victoria, Australia. So I'm going to be talking to you all things penguin tonight, and trying to think up cool new fun facts, and of course, probably some new poo stories as well to entertain you for the next half an hour or so. Anna, let us know what you're going to be doing tonight, and then we will jump right into it.
Yeah, so tonight I'm going to be monitoring your questions on Facebook and YouTube. So please ask all of your curly questions tonight. It is Jordan's last night tonight, so if you do want to ask any personal poo stories or anything else, I know you're quite fond of those, let us know, and hopefully I can squeeze a few of those in tonight. Thanks, Jordan.
Beautiful. So remember, if you are commenting on Facebook tonight, we do have a wonderful team of dedicated penguin rangers going through all your wonderful questions and answering them in the next 24 hours or so. But Anna, over to my right, is going to be monitoring both Facebook and YouTube tonight and trying to find some of those cool curly questions, as she said, to try and stump me with. And I think one of the best things about doing Live Penguin TV is we're just having so many more people answer or asking a whole bunch of wonderful questions that we've never thought of, and they've been stumping us. So please keep those really tricky questions coming in. They're making us think and go and speak to our researchers who are absolute penguin nuts. So keep those questions coming in, and we'd love to answer a few live on the stream when I take a breath long enough to ask Anna for a question. Because if you've been watching me on Live Penguin TV, you'll know that I could probably spend the whole time yabbering away, hucking away. So yes, thank you in advance for that, everyone. So like we said, we are here at Phillip Island in Victoria, Australia, and we are so glad that we can now invite more and more people back to our grandstands. You can see they are getting nice and full as they have, compared to what they have been in previous weeks. So we're getting more and more people coming back and answering those questions in person. So if you haven't been to visit us during lockdown or anything like that, please do consider coming to visit us, especially if you're in Australia. For those of you overseas, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm not sure what time it is where you are joining us from, but we look forward to bringing you back here very, very shortly. Fingers crossed in the future as well. Now, it's kind of a nice low tide tonight, so I wonder what the penguins are doing. Have we heard any calls from Ranger John, who is our penguin counter tonight, Anna?
No calls yet, Jordan.
No calls. Okay, so let us cast our eyes out and see if we can see any rafts of penguins. So any groups of penguins out in the water, that's what we call a raft, because they kind of float together on the surface like a raft. And what they're doing is they're making a sound called a huck, which all you water watchers out there, we've been watching you in the comments pretty much every night saying huck, 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 huck. And that's penguin for, is it dark enough? Can we cross the beach yet? Is it safe? Anyone else out there? What do we think? Now, because it's a little bit choppy tonight, it might be a bit trickier to spot them. And it's also going to be hard to see the penguins washing up tonight because we have even more seaweed. Let me even zoom out a bit further. So when they wash up on the beach, they're either, actually, you know what? There's not really anywhere around this seaweed. We can't go over it. We can't go under it. We'll have to go through it. I know that's some kind of nursery rhyme. I think I butchered it, but that's okay. I think the penguins will either kind of come up over the seaweed or try and find their way around, but we haven't seen anyone yet. Oh no, yes we have. I've just spotted a couple right behind the seaweed. So welcome home, little dudes. We have had more and more seaweed kind of washing up. I think we're going to watch them struggle. So I wonder what the penguins are going to do, if they're going to try and go over it. It doesn't look to be too tall, but every night is different here on Phillip Island. So the penguins are very, very used to that and just have to try and adapt with the change in conditions. These are our first penguins that we've spotted for the night. So send all your luck to them for this big obstacle that is in their way. So hopefully, because they'll be at the edge of the water going, got a penguin in the room with me. Jokes, it's just Anna. They'll probably be calling out to other penguins in the water, and it's kind of like a location sound. So like, we're here, come join us, because there's safety in numbers. When penguins are coming home at the end of the day, they want to make sure it's nice and dark so that any potential predatory birds that would love to snack on a penguin for dinner want to make sure they've gone to bed for the night. Because when the sun sets, that's when those predatory birds return to roost, which means these little guys can cross the beach and not get swooped down on, and they can make their way home safely back to their burrows, which could be nice and close to the water's edge or to the shoreline, or they might have to hike up to 2 kilometres inland, depending on where their home is. So we're very, very lucky to be able to see these little penguins. The smallest of the 18 species of penguins in the world call Phillip Island their home. And they've been coming over to Phillip Island. They've been in Australia for many, many millions of years. So they're very, very old we're racing back into the water, transforming from a waddle into a raft as they head back in the water. We're very, very lucky to see them in very healthy numbers here today. There's about 32,000 of them, but we weren't the first people to see these penguins as they made their way home. The very first people to be on Phillip Island were the Bunurong. And the Bunurong are the traditional custodians of the land here on Phillip Island that they call Malau. And we have lots of evidence that the Bunurong were living all over Phillip Island, but particularly in the Summerland Peninsula, which is where we are, which is where the penguins live. There's lots of middens and very significant cultural heritage sites here at the Penguin Parade and around Swan Lake up towards the Nobbies and things. So they would have been the first people to see these little penguins make their way home. So I would like to acknowledge the Bunurong as the traditional custodians of the land and pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging, and acknowledge that it wasn't European settlement the start of Australian history. It was actually many, many thousands of years ago. And that Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander culture is the oldest continuing culture in the world. And the latest kind of research shows over 65,000 years old. So it's incredible that we on this beautiful land that the Bunurong have been looking after so sustainably and managing the land so well for so many thousands of years, which is why we have such a beautiful, rich ecosystem here on Phillip Island or on Malau. So pay my respects to any Bunurong who are watching live Penguin TV or have visited the Penguin Parade. Thank you so much for your ongoing care and connection to country over so many thousands of years, and thank you for working with us and allowing us to kind of learn some of the Indigenous land practices that we can help maintain this land in a much more natural state. So a huge thank you to all you Bunurong out there and any First Nations people who might be watching today. Please let us know in the comments the lands on which you are joining us from. If you know the traditional Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander or Indigenous name for the lands or the people, the clans of the lands that you're joining us from, please let us know in the comments. Please acknowledge and respect your traditional custodians, because it's been absolutely amazing throughout these live streams that we've been able to, sorry, I can't find these penguins anymore. It's been absolutely amazing, the outpouring of support and respect and education that's come out of these live streams, and people letting us know in the comments where who the original people of the lands are that they're joining us from. So a huge thank you to everyone who has been doing that in the past and is trying their best to learn a little bit more about the Indigenous people of the local area. It's so important that we acknowledge the true history of the land on which we live, work and learn. So thank you very, very much to everyone for that. Now, as I was busy talking, I don't know about you, but I have lost, oh no, here we go. We've got a few friends just over here. And as I've been chatting away, I have heard that Anna has been getting a few different calls. So, like I mentioned, Johnny's our penguin counter tonight, and I'm thinking that he might be radioing Anna every now and then, kind of giving updates and letting us know certain numbers. So, have we heard anything interesting just yet, Anna?
Just as the penguins are coming sort of across and back into the water across the seaweed there.
Okay.
And there was a few penguins up the other side of the beach, but
Okay.
they might have run back into the water as well.
Alrighty, well, because this is a very small waddle of what? Is it 6 penguins? Yep, 6 so far. So one thing that we love to encourage our water watchers out there to do is try and guess how many penguins are in each waddle as they start to cross the beach, but also try to guess how many penguins they think crossed the beach last night. Now, I know this is something that you are all hanging out for, and that is the magic number of how many penguins crossed the beach last night. So my guess was 1,111, 1111. I was a little bit off. Sorry, everyone, but Anna has the magic number, so let us know how many penguins crossed the beach last night, Anna.
There was 1,378.
1,378 penguins. My lordy, that is a lot of penguins, and we count these penguins every night for 50 minutes, so just under an hour. And we've been counting these penguins this way nearly every single night since 19. Oh, we've got a few more friends coming around the corner. Hi, welcome home. So it's one of the largest and longest running penguin surveys in the world. There's a few more rounding the corner. And this has allowed us to monitor the penguin colony over many, many decades and see the trends in the colony, see kind of roughly on average how many penguins cross the beach at different times of the year and in different kind of cycles of the penguin calendar that we like to call it, because these penguins can spend anywhere from 1 day up to about 4 or 5 weeks out in the ocean at a time. So we are never getting the same number of penguins crossing the beach every single night. They only come home if they've got things to do, places to be, if they've got responsibilities at home. Otherwise, they are pescatarian. They love their seafood. They will they only come on land if they've got enough food in their belly and if they absolutely have to, because essentially as soon as they come on land, they're dieting or they're fasting. So I don't know about you guys. I have had many failed attempts at fasting. It's not for me. So I am in awe of these penguins when they can spend a few days or up to 2.5, 3 weeks on land at a time at different times of years. That one on the left looks like it was having a little bit of a yawn. You haven't even done your dangerous dash yet, little buddy. I hope you've got enough energy to race across the beach for us. All right, so that little waddle of 6 definitely has grown a little bit. Let's maybe cross to the seaweed and see if we can see any other little white bellies showing themselves. No, nothing just yet. Now, although it's going to be a little bit harder for these penguins. Oh, here we go. Found some. These ones have decided to go over and not around it. A nice big waddle of penguins. So let us know in the comments how many penguins you think are in this little, sorry, technically a group of penguins is called a group. It's boring, we don't really like it, so we like to refer to them as a waddle. It looks like there's some penguins up on the seaweed that didn't quite make that first group and they're racing back into the water, but these guys are not wasting any time. But yeah, even as I was saying, even though it's a little bit harder for penguins to cross the beach on the seaweed, it's a little bit darker, so just like when they start hopping along the rocks, it offers them a little bit more camouflage because it's a little bit harder to see. And you can see that these penguins, they've kind of stopped on the seaweed and not on the open sand because they know they're a little less visible while they hang out there. And I'm predicting, although now that I've said this, I've probably jinxed myself. Once they hit this sand, I reckon they'll probably be in a little bit more of a hurry. You can see they've got lots and lots of food. Oh yeah, here we go. They're picking up the pace for sure here. Woohoo! Welcome home, little ones. It looks like we've got a few little double chins here as we make our way home. So plenty of fish in their bellies. Hopefully that means they've got some little chickie babes, some little baby penguins at home, and they are going to be coming home to feed their babies. That might be really, really, really little. So when they first hatch, a penguin chick is about 35 grams, but they will keep feeding their chicks for about between 7 to 11 weeks and until they are a fully fledged juvenile penguin at between 7 to 11 weeks, and they will head out into the ocean all by themselves. So I'm very proud of you, penguins. Thank you for not making me look like a fool, for picking up the pace as you cross the beach, rather than just stopping for a little bit of a break. So I wonder if these penguins just here are going to take a little bit of a break on the resting rocks or the salon, or if they are going to keep on going. Now, before I get too much further, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Jacob from Mansfield, who is here on our West Stand tonight, so over in the general viewing area. He watches the Penguin Live TV, so our live stream every single night, and he reckons he knows everything there is to know about shell gritters. So I'm sure I will be mentioning some shell gritters later tonight. But Jason, thank you so much for watching night after night on our live streams and learning all there is to know about penguins, shell gritters and all. And I hope you have a wonderful time here on the West Stand as well. Here we have Sally, our Ranger Sally on Penguins Plus, who is you might recognise that name. She is a fellow penguin counter, so she's one of the rangers who counts our penguins and would relay some of the numbers of penguins in each group to our assistant over here, so we can announce how many penguins there were live on the air. Now, have we heard anything from John about the number of penguins in that first group, Anna, or is he too busy counting?
I think he's too busy counting at the moment, Jordan.
That is so fair, no stress at all. So, as you can see over here, the penguins are kind of starting to split off a little bit. So just like us, penguins have their own address. So they might cross the beach together. It's like jumping on a train or a bus. So you know your train line, but you know that you've got different stops or different bus or train stops to get off at to make sure you can get home the quickest and shortest way possible. So just like that with these penguins over here. So these little dudes, they've got a fairly long journey up to probably over Scotchman. So it looks like you're getting another friend. And trust me, if you come down, it's kind of right near our Penguins Plus stand, which is just the viewing stand below where we are right now. It's quite a steep, high hill. So these tiny little penguins that are about 33 centimeters or 1 foot tall are absolutely amazing climbers. Now it looks like we have some feathery friends coming along the Penguin Highway over here. Welcome home, little ones. Let's see if we... Oh, what are you guys doing? You're looking at yourselves in the reflections? Probably thinking that there's more penguins than there actually are. Hey, little ones. What? There you go. Oh, look, you can see as my camera slowly starts to follow their little bottoms up the highway. You can see their cute little footprints. Oh, what are you doing? You're a bit of a latecomer. He doesn't look like he's in too much of a hurry though. Slowly making the way up the Penguin Highway. Alrighty, now let us maybe jump back to our main camera, and it doesn't appear to be anyone here just yet, but that is okay. Let us make our way back over to the beach or the resting rocks and see if anyone has been left behind. Okay, no one. So those first group of penguins must have been in a rush. That to me says that they've probably got some responsibilities at home, whether that is some eggs to sit on or some chicks at home that need a good feeding. So I can't, oh no, there's a few more penguins. There we go, right behind the seaweed over here. They're a little bit hidden from view.
Shall we have a question, Jordan?
I reckon we can go for a question or two, Anna. Let's go for it.
Yeah. So Jamila, one of our frequent water watchers.
Oh yes, I've seen you commenting before, Jamila. Hello, thank you for your question.
Is wondering, has there been a time when we haven't counted the penguins?
Oh, has there been a time that we haven't counted the penguins? Great question, Jamila. So not in kind of recent history. So back in 1968, when the Penguin Study Group are the ones counting the penguins, they are actually a volunteer organisation. So understandably, they weren't here every single night to count penguins, although they did an absolutely amazing job for a volunteer organisation to start off this survey and have so much data back until the 60s. But occasionally we might have some really severe electrical storms, so lightning and things like that, that just makes it not safe for any of our visitors, let alone any of our rangers, to be out here on the beach counting penguins. So it doesn't happen too often. Quite often these electrical storms they're very, very, very short-lived, but if those storms do coincide in times where the penguins are starting to cross the beach, safety, of course, is first, so we don't, we won't be down here. But I don't think, since I've been here, there hasn't been a time. Occasionally we've had to evacuate because of said storms, which has kind of interrupted the penguin count a little bit, but typically on those nights we have been kind of gone inside the building, our Penguin Parade Visitor Centre, waited for the storm to pass, and then we'll go back out again. So yeah, really great question. I'm not sure we've actually had that one just yet, so you can tell that Jamila is one of our regular water watchers, choosing a question that we haven't really thought of or had answered here on Live Penguin TV before. So thanks, Jamila, and thanks for picking out that one, Anna. All right, these penguins look like they're struggling to work out exactly what to do. They're kind of moving a little bit further along the seaweed. Is that because there's a slightly bigger group? Oh, yeah, we've got a few more penguins hanging out and about. I think there's one just bobbing up in the background. I reckon they're going to try, instead of going around, they're going to go over. Yep, here they go. It's just kind of occurred to me. The penguins that are crossing the seaweed here, it kind of almost looks like a zombie movie where the zombies are taking over and they're like climbing over the walls and the fences and they're just like piling over each other. So definitely not penguin zombies, but that was just a random thought that came to my head.
Random, Jordan.
But I think it's true.
I think it's relevant. Yeah.
Okay, it's relevant. Great. I've got the tick of approval from Anna.
Speaking of seaweed, we have had a lot of questions tonight about why we don't remove the seaweed to make it easier for the penguins.
Yeah, so why don't we remove the seaweed to make it easier for the penguins? So as you can see, the penguins, although it did take them a little while, they've kind of figured it out. And seaweed is a natural thing that will often get kind of washed up and also taken back away depending on the tide, what the waves and things are doing. So you can see that even though it is taking the penguins a little while to kind of figure it out, it's ultimately not disturbing their behavior too much, and especially because this is a natural kind of occurrence. It's not something that's man-made. It's not something like an oil spill or there's a big bit of marine debris on the beach. So the penguins, although it will take them a little bit longer to work out, they are more than capable of doing this. That said, in the past, especially in kind of like May and June, we do get something that we call king tides, which means that you might have noticed watching Live Penguin TV that the tide does go in and out, and at Penguin Live TV time, the tide will kind of be at slightly different stages on the beach. Come on, camera, where are we? Yep, there we go. So sometimes the king tides are kind of really big full tides or high tides, and quite often that can actually carve away a lot of the sand and cause a lot of cliffing and erosion, which does make it really, really difficult for these penguins to get back home. So sometimes what we have to do is put little rocks. So these ones just here that the penguins are about to cross are all natural, but in more kind of sandier areas of the beach where black rocks, these basaltic rocks that we have in here, don't normally wash up, we do have to kind of make a little stairway for them so that they're not kind of stuck on the beach with a big wall of sand that stands at about 1 or 2 meters high. These penguins are pretty good climbers, but they are definitely no match for increasing sea levels that cause, and king tides that do make it a lot harder for these penguins to get home. So in the face of climate change, we are predicting more storm surges and bigger waves and lots of storms and things like that, which do have the potential to impact these penguins by causing that cliffing and erosion in the sand that I was just mentioning earlier. So that's why it's so important that we all have to think a little bit about the different ways that we impact the environment and how we can reduce our carbon footprint, because if little one of us does something, hopefully it's gonna make a big difference, and we'll be able to reduce the impact of climate change and be able to make these penguins' journey homes just that little bit easier. Now that was a nice big waddle of penguins making its way in. I reckon we might have some penguins coming along the Penguin Highway very shortly. But while we have penguins on the screen, I'm just going to move the highway camera back. You can see it moving, trying to do 2 things at once as we watch these little guys coming along. So yeah, I reckon very, very shortly we will have some more penguins coming around the corner. Now, one thing that I haven't mentioned just yet, everyone, is that you met Penguin Anna and Penguin Jordan a little bit earlier in the live stream tonight. But what you can do, if you like, you can come to visit us here. Here we go. There's Anna. How we doing, Anna? And where's Jordan? There we go. There's Penguin Jordan. If you come and visit us here on at the Penguin Parade, you can buy things from our souvenir shop that goes directly toward the profits of your purchases goes towards our conservation, education and research projects, because Phillip Island Nature Park's the organisation who manages the Penguin Parade and gives Anna and I jobs that means we get to play with penguins. We're a conservation-based non-for-profit organisation, so every little bit counts. So thank you so much if you've bought tickets or planning to come and buy tickets, tours to one of our 4 attractions, or buy anything in our retail store, because by doing that you're coming and having a good time and you get to go home with a little bit of a keepsake, but that is ultimately going towards protecting threatened species and penguins and all kinds of other natural spaces of native wildlife here on Phillip Island and on Malau. But if you are overseas or you can't travel here for any reason, you can donate to the Penguin Foundation, and the link should be just in the description of the video. You can adopt a penguin, a koala, a hooded plover, running up on the highway, a short-tailed shearwater. There's a whole bunch of different things that you can adopt. Let's maybe jump back to the main camera. Yep, there we go. We've got some more friends. Oh, more penguins coming up the highway. So yeah, if you are really wanting to help us with the work that we do here, please consider donating to the Penguin Foundation. The Penguin Foundation does things like funding our wildlife clinic, where we look after sick and injured wildlife, rehabilitate them and release them back into the wild. So you might have seen a few weeks ago on the live stream, we had a penguin come in with something entangled, something kind of around its neck. This was fortunately a very, very fat, healthy penguin that all you water watchers out there named it Geordie, because I was the one to go and tackle the penguin and bring it back for examination. But we were very lucky in that situation that this little Geordie, who was fit and healthy, and we could just cut the entanglement, which we think was some kind of silicone adhesive that had formed a circle, and we were able to release him back on the Penguin Highway. But if this penguin or any injured penguins do come in and they do need a little bit of a helping hand, they do go to our wildlife hospital, which, as I said, is funded by the Penguin Foundation. So anyone who has donated in the past, that is what your, we've got more penguins on the resting rocks, what your money is going towards. So a huge, huge thank you, and we've been absolutely blown away by your generosity. In fact, doing this live stream, doing these live Penguin TVs, our Penguin Foundation team has been just absolutely overwhelmed, and I think they've had to employ a few more people to process all of the adoptions and people becoming penguin pals and sending out everything. So it's been an overwhelming success. So a huge, huge thank you to everyone for that. Alrighty, I was going to say jump back to the beach, but these penguins are just a little bit ahead of me. Let's maybe watch some of these guys as they start to cross the beach. We've got some on the beach, some on the rocks, and some on the seaweed as well. So maybe we can, there's some coming in from the left as well. Oh my gosh, penguins are coming in from absolutely everywhere tonight. I love it. So yeah, we might go for maybe another question or so, Anna, because I have a bit of a list with me tonight of things that I want to go through before we finish off the live stream. Because as I said, this is Anna and my final night doing live Penguin TV as we know it. So remember, it's not gone for good. It's going to be coming back on special occasions, and we'll be getting special guests as well. It's just our last night for doing it every single night. So don't get too sad. I'm trying not to get too emotional. Some people have asked if they need tissues for tonight's live stream. But at the moment, I'm okay. But a little bit later in the stream, I have a feeling that I might kind of hit the denial stage. I'm just going to try and keep talking so that it'll never end. So Anna will probably have to wrap me over the knuckles and tell me that we have to hurry up. But
I can see that happening.
You can see that happening. I'll try to be good.
So Emma has a question about the rangers. So
Sure.
Do the rangers all have set roles, or are we rotating roles?
Oh, so Emma, what's it? Emma, thanks for your question, Emma. So great question. Do the rangers have roles, specific roles, or do we have rotating roles? So this is also a good question, Emma, because I can go on for a very long time about it. Haha, Anna, you chose the question. You can't get angry at me. No, I joke. So here at Phillip Island Nature Parks, we have a whole range of rangers. Pardon my pun. And so we have rangers who work in kind of a visitor experience role. So that's what Anna and I do. Our role is mostly to talk and engage with visitors, talk about all things penguin and all things environment here at Phillip Island, from Phillip Island Nature Parks. Oh, that's a bit of a mouthful. Looks like I've got a few penguins coming up the highway just over here. So we do things like run tours, do talks here at the Penguin Parade, up at the Nobby's Antarctic Journey Centre, Churchill Island Heritage Farm, as well as the Koala Conservation Reserve. But we also have education rangers who specialise in kind of hosting school groups, and they look to build kind of environmental programs and camps and activities into kind of school curriculums and things. We have our environment team, who are the dedicated team of rangers doing the on-ground works like weed removal and control, do nest box kind of maintenance and things like that. What else do the Enviro Rangers do? They do things like feral cat research. So I think, Anna, you were talking about your work with feral cat detection last night. Was that correct?
Yep, last night.
Oh my God, they do things like looking after the koalas, feeding them browse, making sure, especially the ones that we've had from bushfire affected areas, kind of looking after them. What else have we got? We've got our research department. So people are all watching the penguins. Yeah, good work. You've spotted them. Got any more over here? Doesn't look like it. Might jump back to the rocks then, although it looks like we've got some more friends coming down the highway just now. So I'll just flick over. There we go. I spoke about, now we're into research. So we have a kind of a team penguin, and that's who, while we have been, I'm going to talk about that penguin going the wrong way. Jason, who I mentioned earlier, will know all about this one, who is a shell gritter. So in our research department, oh my God, did you see that poo? Wow, that was a great projectile poo. I'm sorry, if you've watched live penguin TV before, or if you haven't, you've obviously noticed I've just got very, very distracted by penguin poo, and it's very rare that we actually get penguin poo caught live on the air, but that was a great little squirt. Hi friends, let's follow you up. Penguins have the highest velocity poo in the world, so you guys just witnessed a Guinness World Record. So what was I talking about? I was talking about the research department. So yeah, we've got our penguin researchers who Megan and I have been working quite closely with over the time where we've been locked down. So we've been redeployed into Team Penguin, doing some penguin handling and poo sampling and blood sampling and chick weighing and monitoring. So it's been really, really great to do that. But we've also got seal research, because we also help look after the seals out at Seal Rocks. What else, Anna? Who else is out there that I haven't mentioned?
We've got our marketing team.
Marketing team, yes. So absolutely, who do all our amazing work, advertising, all the things that we do here at the nature parks, and getting you all involved in live penguin TV. So definitely a special shout out to our friend Sophie, who's done an amazing work orchestrating all of this, as well, of course, with Roland and Jeff. Can't forget about you guys for sure. We've got our retail and admissions team who deal with selling a lot of our wonderful kind of ethical products here at our venues and things like that, and helps answering questions and selling you tickets. Who else? I could go on and on. So Emma, the question was, does everyone have rotating roles, or do we just kind of do the same thing? So while we might be kind of in a similar department, for example, I won't go into this for all of the departments because the roles are just so varied, but in kind of a visitor experience space, obviously we get to do cool things like this, talking to people about penguins on live TV. We'll be out on the boardwalks, managing the stands here at the Penguin Parade, giving you a big talk at the start of the night, and telling you all things about penguins and how we can help make their journey home just that little bit easier and safer, by making sure everyone's doing the right things, by staying nice and quiet and still and not taking any photography, things like that. We also run tours and do all other kind of talks and things like that. But yes, there's of course also kind of room to move in between different departments and different roles. So I hope that answers your question, Emma. Yes, Anna is smiling and nodding at me. Alrighty, now Anna has just told me that we have about 5 minutes to go. I haven't really got through my whole list, so Anna, sorry, not sorry, we're going to go over 5 minutes.
We all know that Jordan's 5 minutes turn into at least 10 minutes, so...
Excellent. As long as she's aware, that is totally fine. Let's maybe zoom out a little bit and see. Oh, we've got a few more penguins starting to cross the beach. So, as this is my last night for a little while, look at these little guys. I've got a list of things that I wanted to mention and get through on the stream tonight, and kind of throughout the day I'd think of something and I'd be like, okay, got to write that down so I can talk about it. So let me just consult my list and make sure that I'm going to get through absolutely everything. Now, one thing, okay, got another story. So, you saw me get very, very excited before about penguin poo, and I get a lot of requests to talk about penguin poo or tell penguin poo stories. So recently, Megan and I, who's another live stream host, have been completely covered in chick poo, because especially during the breeding season, we're dealing with lots of chicks, and chicks are the pooiest of them all. So I think you've probably heard most of my recent poo stories, but just a brief recap, I reckon I've got 3 top poo stories, and the first one was when I was holding penguins for Megan, kind of sitting on my knee, because I had to keep them nice and still so Megan could attach some GPS loggers onto them so we could see where they're heading out in the ocean. I got pooed on at the same spot on my knee, not once, not twice, but 3 times within the space of about 5 or so minutes. So my right knee in particular was very, very stinky that night. Megan thought it was absolutely hilarious, and look, to be honest, so did I. Well, it looks like we've got a few penguins on the highway now as well. Hey guys, zooming along. But lucky I got my revenge, or the penguins at least got their revenge on Megan by, there was one time she had to kind of commando crawl underneath a whole bunch of vegetation to be able to access one of these nest boxes in our study site. And when she got the chick, she kind of had to hold it next to or right against her chest to kind of wiggle her way out, and the penguin pooed literally right under her vest. So that was absolutely hilarious. And a more recent story, which I think might have only been last week or so, I was helping her check the study site, and it was the very first burrow that had 2 little chicks in it, and the first first chick that she handled pooed all over her. And usually it's just like a little poo, but this was a monster of a poo. It got all down her vest, all on her pants, and even on her forearm as well. So much so that it was actually dripping with penguin poo. It was so gross, and I couldn't even do the work that we were meant to do for about 30 seconds because I was too busy laughing. So those probably have to be my top penguin poo stories, I reckon. So I hope you enjoyed a quick recap of those. But one poo story that I haven't told you, which I've got to make sure I give you a new poo story, was it's not a new one, but back kind of this time last year, I was lucky enough to do the field work for the penguin survey, which is done once every 2 or 3 years to work out exactly how many penguins live in the colony. And we've been at about 32,000 for the last couple of surveys. So we're at a stable population, which is fantastic. But as part of my job on the penguin survey, I had to stick my hand in burrows to see who was home, to check for kind of breeding adults and things. Look at this little guy hanging out in the scrub. Any more penguins? Starting to get a little bit darker. I might zoom out one last time and see if we can see them. Oh, yep, there we go. So yeah, it was just all day trudging through the colony. It was very, very warm. I was just covered in penguin poo from my fingertips up to about my elbow. And I just remember every time coming into the building or coming near people, people were very, very polite. They would go and just look around for where the smell was coming from. And like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. And it was me. So while penguins are very, very cute, I will not deny it. They are very stinky little creatures. My goodness, there are so many penguins here. I hope you are all keeping note of this so that you can make an educated guess as to how many penguins cross the beach tonight. You can check in on the live stream tomorrow. So yes, that is my poo story, which I hope you enjoyed, and a quick recap of all the different poo stories. Okay, got to quickly get through my list because I think it's already been 5 minutes, but Anna, she's being nice to me. She's letting me have my moment, because remember, the longer I talk, it's not going to end. No, I'm joking. I joke. So we've talked a little bit about on Live Penguin TV how we've got the Penguins Plus stand just below us, where we see about 60 to 70% of all the penguins making their way home. We've also got our general viewing stands where the majority of our people, or our guests, my gosh, so many penguins, majority of our guests get to sit and watch the penguins cross the beach. But it's really once you get out onto the boardwalks that you get to get up nice and close with the penguins and see cool little behaviour just like this. So yeah, those are kind of a lot of our options, as well as we do have the general viewing option. So if you have a look up on the Penguin Highway just above me, you'll see that there's a nice kind of long window to the left, and we are going to be opening that up very, very shortly with a maximum capacity of 40 people, so 40, where you can see the penguins coming along the highway right at eye level. But we also have other things that might tickle your fancy here at the Penguin Parade. So these options are a little bit more expensive, but if you want to have a little bit more of a personalized tour, you want to kind of get away from the crowds, if you know, which is totally understandable in this time of COVID, where it's so weird getting out and socializing and seeing a whole bunch of people now. So if you're not quite ready to spend time in the crowds, or you want to have a little bit more of a personalized experience at the Penguin Parade, we do have guided ranger tours, which I think very, very shortly will be up for offer on the weekend. So it's one ranger and up to 10 guests, and you go on a special little separate viewing platform. So it's just you, your ranger, and the guests that are on your tour. As I said, maximum of 10 people. So it's a little bit quiet if you don't want to be around everyone quite as much. So you're there for about 20 minutes watching the penguins crossing the beach. And when after that 20 minutes, we slowly start walking along the boardwalks and following the penguins home. Just a heads up, you will kind of be in the general public area as you start making your way back, but yeah, it's usually a lot kind of quieter on those guided ranger tours. But if you want something even more exclusive, something that we used to offer and I think will shortly be available, is something called our Ultimate Adventure Tour, which is something where instead of being at the main Penguin Parade, you're taken away right into the heart of the penguin colony, where there's no lights, there's no fences. You sit on the beach on one of the North Shore beaches on the Summerland Peninsula, and everyone gets kicked out of the Summerland Peninsula at night. So you are literally just on the beach with the penguins. You're the only ones there in a colony of 32,000 penguins. You get to sit on the beach and they can waddle right up to you if that's what they want to do. And then you also get to follow them home in the dark with special night vision equipment. So that's something that might appeal to you if you want to have someone like Anna or myself run a tour out there as well. So keep an eye out for some of those different options that we have as well. If you're, as I said, if you're not comfortable being right in the thick of huge crowds, that might be an option for you. Now, that was only one more of my things. Okay, yes. So I've got 2 more things that I would like to get through, but I wanted to jump to the Penguin Highway one last time as we see these little guys. You might have heard me mention a little bit earlier about how we did have that penguin on Live Penguin TV spotted with some plastic or some kind of marine debris around its neck, little Geordie, who we were able to free. So one of the things that we love to talk about here at the Penguin Parade is different ways that we can reduce our impact on penguins. Oh, looks like we've got a shell gritty here. And one of the best ways that we can do that is reducing how much plastic that we use. So we try to encourage people to reduce, especially the amount of single-use plastic that they use, especially because we can all do the right thing and try to make sure our rubbish goes in the bin, but sometimes it might kind of fly out of landfill, out of your bin and enter into the environment. So if you do things, if you can buy reusable things, sorry, it's not focusing there, so I might jump back to our main camera. Yep, there we go. That's gonna make sure that rubbish isn't out there at all. So what I've done is I've brought a few little props with me, and one thing that I did mention a few weeks ago on Live Penguin TV is one of the things that I'm trying to do is go plastic free in my bathroom. So I brought with me my little bamboo toothbrush. I've got, these might just spark some ideas, maybe some Christmas presents. I also use this little kind of tooth powder, which is in a recyclable and reusable glass jar, so it doesn't come in the plastic tube. And I've also got some a shampoo bar, so it doesn't come in those big kind of plastic containers. And yeah, it's been really, really good. So have a look online at your, you can find ethical online shops, go to farmers markets. What else? Yeah.
Even local supermarkets now have bamboo toothbrushes on the shelves.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, every little bit helps. Think about different ways that you can reduce how much plastic that you're using, and it's going to prevent any plastic or any of your plastic, making sure it's definitely not going to be washing up here on Phillip Island, affecting our penguins or any of their other marine neighbours. So thank you in advance to everyone who is doing their bit to try and reduce how much plastic that they're using. All right, there's one more thing that I wanted to do before we wind down, and this is something that I feel like I definitely have to do. Actually, is that a chick? Got some chicks. Who's this? Hold on. Look at me, I'm extending the stream. Something going on back there. I thought they looked a little brown and fluffy, but they're behind the veg, so I can't really see. No, that's okay. Back to the penguins on the resting rocks. Alrighty. So yeah, just before we do sign off for the night, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to absolutely everyone who has been involved in the Live Penguin TV process and making it such a success and such a joy for everyone involved. So first, people I would love to acknowledge and thank for all the people, all the penguin rangers who have been answering all your wonderful questions on Facebook, who have been doing an absolutely amazing job pretty much within 24 hours or even pretty much live on the stream, answering all of your questions on Facebook, because they're really onto it, giving so many wonderful answers, and it's things that we love to do, provide answers to really curious and passionate people like you water watchers out there. So a huge thank you to our team of rangers who do that. So who have we got? I'm going to make sure I don't forget anyone. We've got Viv, Sammy, we've got, I think Stephen's done some as well, Anna, who's my lovely assistant tonight. Have I missed anyone else who have done the questions? Anna, is this everyone here?
I think so, yeah.
Beautiful. I would love to thank our penguin counters who night after night let us know what the penguins are doing, how many penguins are crossing the beach, when they first start and where they first start, and relaying this information to our wonderful assistants here on Live Penguin TV to let the presenters, the hosts know. This is something above and beyond all of their roles here at the Penguin Parade. So a huge thank you. There are so many penguin counters, I won't name them all, but you know who you are. Thank you so much for helping us enhance our visit. Oh, have we got a Ricali here? Yes, we do. A little native water rat. Where'd you go? Why are they all running away from me tonight? Oh, yeah, there we go. So this over here is a native water rat, so not a threat to these penguins. Just another little neighbour scurrying along home. Good work, little buddy. Who else? Alrighty. So I wanted to thank all our assistants that we call the producers on Live Penguin TV, who have done an amazing job assisting the host, throwing over questions, monitoring the comments and questions, and bringing all the juicy ones to the presenter's attention, doing a great job keeping time, keeping us all in check, and yeah, assisting and supporting us in the work that we do. So a huge thank you to Heather, Michael, Anna, Amber, Sue, Tom, Ranger T, or Therese, Emma, and Rach. I apologise if I've forgotten anyone. You guys have done an absolutely amazing job. Thank you so much for your support in Live Penguin TV. We really appreciate it. I want to do a big shout out as well to our wonderful presenters on Live Penguin TV. So Stephen, Sky, Megan, Helen, and Heather. and I wanted to share a little story about each of them, about what kind of makes them so wonderful and so special. So Stephen, who you know, our wonderful Canadian Stephen, who is kind of Sky's alter ego on the week that they are doing live Penguin TV. He just has an absolute heart of gold. And in a little kind of story that I want to share about Stephen is that he in our visitor experience department meetings, he runs a section called Wonderful Rangers. And that's where he emails everyone about a week before the meeting to send in stories and their kind of affirmations of the different rangers and the wonderful work that they've been doing. And during these meetings, he hands out chocolates to all of these rangers who get nominated for being a wonderful ranger. So Stephen, thank you so much for all your positivity and fostering the best in all of us here at the Penguin Parade. We absolutely love you for it, and please keep those chocolates coming. We absolutely love it. In fact, and Anna wanted to share something about the last meeting before Christmas about Stephen last year.
Yeah, that might be my story. Alex just commented that he'd like to hear a story from me. So
Ooh.
I might highlight...
Hang on.
Thanks, Jordan. So I might put Stephen up for this one and just say that last year, Stephen actually dressed up as Santa Claus for us all and brought in our chocolates for everyone because, of course, we're all wonderful rangers. We're very lucky to work with an amazing team here. So Stephen's a lovely presenter and a lovely person as well.
Cool, thank you, Anna. I wish I had a rolly chair, but that's okay. Who have we got next? Sky was on my list to thank, one of our other live stream hosts. And Sky, I remember so clearly the week before we started on live Penguin TV, we were on the phone to each other. We were messaging each other for hours and hours each and every day. Oh my God, what are we going to do? There's going to be so many people watching. What if actually no one watches? What if we stuff up? What if we run out of things to say? We were just a big bundle of anxiety and nerves. And she did an absolutely amazing job hosting the first Penguin live stream with over 700,000 views. And she did it like an absolute champ. And I ended up doing the live stream a week later, and of course I was a nervous wreck, and she did an absolutely amazing job calming me down and reassuring me that everything was going to be okay when I thought I wasn't going to be able to talk non-stop about penguins for the 20 or 30 minutes that we run the live stream, but we all know that that's never was the case. In fact, I think when I'm nervous I probably talk more, but I talk heaps generally, but I'm very relaxed now. So a huge thank you to Sky for helping me and supporting me and supporting each other through this process, which has been very scary and very daunting, but it ended up being a very enjoyable process. Who have we got next? Megan. So Megan, my work colleague and my housemate. You've heard me tell lots and lots of stories about lovely Megan, but I think the thing that I want to give a shout out to Megan for is thank you for putting up with me both at home and at work because we both live and work together, and we haven't even just worked together, we've been doing the same job. So it's pretty much been non-stop with Megan and I. So again, thank you so much, Megos, for putting up with me and letting me tell all the wonderful poo stories and embarrassing you on live Penguin TV. I know you didn't really have a say in the matter, but yeah, I love all the laughters and support that we've had in the live stream and with our work in Penguin research over the last couple of months. All right, next one on my list to thank and acknowledge is the wonderful Ranger Helen, who was the ranger who was doing the Japanese translations those few Saturday nights in a row. Helen, I don't know how she did it in English. Oh, looks like there's a little rat off to the left. It's hard enough in English, let alone in Japanese. So she's just so incredibly skilled and confident, and just her ability to give it a go when it must have been such a daunting task. Like, she did an absolutely fantastic job. So kudos to you, Helen. Unfortunately, we weren't actually able to work together. She was on a separate team during the live stream, but I was just in absolute awe, so much admiration for you in your job doing the Japanese translations. Like, amazing work. Oh, and of course, the lovely Heather, who she did host a few live streams a little bit earlier in the Penguin Live TV process. She has just always been words of love and support and has been absolute just so lovely and outstanding and encouraging throughout this whole process. And for her to give this a go when it was something completely outside her comfort zone, again, a huge kudos and congratulations to you, Heather. You absolutely killed it. So I think that's most of the people that I wanted to thank and acknowledge for their work in Live Penguin TV tonight. But one last group of people I would like to thank are you, the Waddle Watchers, for asking all of your wonderful questions and keeping, kind of mirroring our passion for all things penguin and keeping us on our toes with all of your questions and keeping an eye out for things in the comments like entangled penguins, like bandicoots, like penguin chicks and things like that. So it wouldn't have been a success without people like you tuning in, if it was just once or if it was night after night. So a huge thank you to everyone on Live Penguin TV, all you Waddle Watchers who have been tuning in, and especially you regular Waddle Watchers who tune in night after night. You know exactly who you are. Thank you so much, and I hope you end up tuning in to Live Penguin TV in the future. So remember, we've got 2 more nights of Live Penguin TV with Stephen hosting the last 2 nights, but while we are ending this nightly, we will be back for special occasions and with special guests as well. So I'm trying not to get too emotional, and I realize I've been rambling on for quite a long time because I don't want this to end just as much as you guys do. But I think that's pretty much everything on my big long list of things that I wanted to say to everyone tonight. Now, Anna, I said I've been talking for a while, but maybe let's go for one last penguin question before we say our goodbye.
All right, Jordan. This is a very cute question from Lincoln. And Lincoln's 5 years old.
Beautiful.
Hi,
Lincoln.
Lincoln wanted to know if Santa visits the penguins in their burrows.
Oh my God. Lincoln, that is absolutely delightful. Does Santa visit the penguins in their burrows? You know what? We never quite know, because Santa, as you know, comes very, very late at night, and we are well and truly gone. But we know that penguin parents are very, very good at providing for their little chickies. So I think the parents are kind of like the Santas in their penguins' eyes. But I would like to think that it's not a human Santa, but there's actually a penguin Santa that likes to go around to all the different burrows and give a beautiful little present, which, do you know what a penguin chick would absolutely love? Fresh anchovies. I think that would be every chick's little dream to have on Christmas morning. So thank you so much for your question, Lincoln. And yes, I hope Santa brings you lots and lots of beautiful presents this year. Now, really quickly, it looks like we've got a shell critter just on the highway above us. So it's a female penguin with eggs in her tummy, and she is heading down to the beach to look for some little bits of seashell to nibble on so that she can have enough calcium to make her eggshells inside her nice and strong. So very shortly, in the next couple of days, we will be seeing, she will be having some eggs in her burrow. So a nice little Christmas present for us all. And that's actually one thing that I did want to say to everyone. A huge Merry Christmas, happy holidays. Please, yes, stay safe over this Christmas period, and we would absolutely love to you to visit us here at the Penguin Parade or a lot of our other sites here on Phillip Island, on Malau, Phillip Island Nature Parks, and make sure you do come up and say hello. Say huck, Merry Christmas, whatever you like. We would very, very much appreciate it. We've actually had quite a few people out on the boardwalks going, "Excuse me, are you the one on Live Penguin TV?" And it's just absolutely heartwarming hearing people's stories about how they've loved watching the penguins every night in their living room, and how it's kind of affected their lives and helped their happiness in these hard times during the most recent lockdown. So yeah, thank you again for all of you guys that keep tuning in night after night and staying really positive and asking all those wonderful questions. If you aren't able to join us, but again would like to help these penguins have a very Merry Christmas, please consider donating to the Penguin Foundation. You can adopt a penguin, become a penguin pal, and there's a few different options for you as well. It might make a great Christmas present. So not only us here, the team of rangers at the Penguin Parade, we will definitely thank you, but ultimately the penguins will thank you for giving them a very, very safe, happy Christmas. And the penguins will even reward you in the fact that we do have a few chicks or a few eggs projected to hatch on Christmas Day as well. So while we might not be able to see the tiny little penguins in their burrows, know that there will be some very tiny little chicks hatching here at the Penguin Parade at about Christmas. And one thing that you can do, sorry, I know I keep on going, is that remember we do have our live burrow cam. So even though we aren't going to be running these live penguin streams, jump onto Phillip Island Nature Park's live burrow cam to see. We've got at the moment a female penguin sitting on some eggs, and you might even be lucky enough to see those eggs hatch or to see both parents kind of swapping over duties. And you'll be able to, once the chicks hatch, watch them grow into beautiful big fledglings and eventually head out into the big wide ocean.
Now, Jordan, our visitors have helped us complete the end of the penguin count this evening.
Excellent. So
I think with that, we might have to wrap up.
Okay, I have said everything that I needed to say. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for all the love, all the laughs, all the support. We will see you on the boardwalks. We will see you on these live streams when we have our special occasions. And come on in, say goodbye, and let us know anything else that you would like to tell our water watchers out there before we finish off, and then we will do our signature huck off.
Perfect. Thanks, Jordan. Thanks, everyone, for watching and participating in Penguin Live TV. We've enjoyed answering your questions and reading your comments just as much as I see a lot of you have enjoyed watching them, those penguins come in. So thank you for helping us finish our penguin count tonight. And with that, we might huck off. Pun not meant.
Pun not meant. Alrighty, everyone. So much love. Thank you so much for tuning in. There may be tears after the live stream, but hopefully we will see you very, very soon. Stay safe. Merry Christmas and huck!